Welcome to Max Roach Park, Brixton's own slice of green that manages to stay standing despite everything happening around it. Now, this park might not be as famous as some of its London counterparts, but don't let that fool you. Max Roach Park has got history, personality, and yes, even some drama. So, strap in and let our little Hummingbird guide take you through a tour through the whole park, with aerial shots in part 2 of this tour coming soon after. Let's start with the basics. Max Roach Park is named after the legendary jazz drummer Max Roach, who wasn't just a drummer but a pioneer in music and civil rights. Fitting, right? A park named after a man who broke boundaries in a place like Brixton, a neighborhood that's seen its fair share of struggles and triumphs. This park was created in the 1980s as a community space, a safe haven where kids could play, families could picnic, and, well, people could just exist without too much fuss. In a city that's always changing, it's nice to have a spot that's all about the community. But let's not get too romantic about it, because like any public space, Max Roach Park has its quirks. You might have heard about the recent trend of people setting up tents and turning this place into an impromptu campsite. Look, I get it. London rents are through the roof. But when your morning jog turns into a slalom course around makeshift shelters, you've got to wonder if the real estate market has finally gone mad. You've got people out here living like they're at Glastonbury, except without the music or the overpriced food trucks. But hey, maybe they're onto something. No council tax, no nosy neighbors, just you, your tent, and the odd squirrel trying to steal your breakfast. Historically, Max Roach Park hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. Back in the day, this area was known for being a bit rough around the edges. There were issues with crime, poverty, and let's not forget the 1981 Brixton riots that kicked off just down the road. Those riots were a response to racial tension, police brutality, and economic hardship. And while the park wasn't the epicenter, it certainly felt the shockwaves. Fast forward to today, and while Brixton has undergone a bit of gentrification, Max Roach Park remains a place where you can still feel the pulse of the real Brixton, not just the hipster cafes and overpriced avocado toast. Now, on a lighter note, this park has its moments of pure joy. It's a haven for families, especially with its playground that's almost always filled with kids burning off energy like they've just downed 6 espressos. And let's not forget the basketball court, where you'll see everything from casual pickup games to some seriously impressive hoop action. Honestly, the local talent could give some NBA players a run for their money, or at least make them break a sweat. But it's not all fun and games. In recent years, there's been a push to improve the park's facilities, and while that's great, it also comes with its own set of issues. You've got some folks worried that these upgrades are just another step towards turning Brixton into the next Shoreditch, a place where the soul of the community gets traded in for artisanal cheese shops and overpriced vintage stores. So the battle to keep Max Roach Park real is still very much on. And speaking of keeping it real, let's talk about the people who use this park. You've got everyone from local families to artists, students, and, yes, the occasional Karen who think they own the place. They don't, by the way. But what's great about this park is that it's a melting pot. Everyone's here, doing their thing, and for the most part, just getting along. It's a little microcosm of Brixton itself, diverse, vibrant, and just a bit chaotic. So as we wrap up our tour, remember this. Max Roach Park might not be the biggest or the fanciest park in London, but it's got heart. It's a place where history, culture, and community come together in a way that's uniquely Brixton. And whether you're here to play, relax, or just people watch, this park has got something for everyone. Just watch out for those tents. They're not as temporary as they look. Thanks for joining us on this tour of Max Roach Park. We hope you enjoyed the ride, learned a bit of history, and maybe even had a laugh or two. And remember, no matter how crazy the world gets, places like this remind us that community still matters, even if it's just a patch of green in the middle of the city.